All right. Okay. Well, welcome everybody to today's workshop, Researching Companies in Your Industry. We've got three great presenters for y'all today. We've got Amy Medlin from the Career Development Center is going to be showing you Handshake. And then from the library, we've got Sharon Parente is going to be sharing a database called Data Axle. And then Dr. Rachel Kirk is going to show you IBIS World. Each one's going to talk for about 10 or 15 minutes. If you have questions, you can feel free to put those in the chat, and I will make sure that we address those as we're going along. We are recording today's workshop, and we will post the recording to the library's YouTube channel in a few days. As we go along, feel free to, as I said, put your questions in the chat. When we get to the end, after all the presenters are finished, we'll stop the recording, and then we will open it up for more questions if you have things you want to ask and not be on the recording. And then at the very end, there's going to be a QR code that you can scan to check in and get the Ignite credit for being here today. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Amy.
Hi, so glad all of you are here today. I'm going to share my screen. I am going to talk with you about Handshake and how you can find employers on there and how you can find information about employers you might be interested in and or how to job search on there. So I am a career advisor at MTSU Career Development Center. We are located on the third floor of the KUC if you haven't been here. So we can schedule individual appointments if you want to, just by the same way you would schedule with your academic advisor through Navigate. Instead of choosing academic advisor, you would just choose Career Development Center. So if you need help with anything career related, I would be happy to help you, as any of our other advisors would too. So I wanted to show you how to get into Handshake in case you have not gotten into Handshake. If you go to mtsu.edu/career, it brings you to the Career Development Center website. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see the little, some people see yellow, some people see green, H. If you click on that, it will take you directly to Handshake. If you have not signed in before, or if you have logged out, it will take you to a login page. And on that, all you have to do is, it says use MTSU credentials or log in as MTSU student or something. And you just, the same way you log into your email, you're saying use your email address, MTSU email address, and your password. It will take you straight into Handshake. The first time you go in, it will take you to your personal information, your profile, and it will, I'm going to just show you kind of what it looks like. It'll be like text box questions. It will have some information in here like headline. Well, they have a default on here, but it will have your degree that you're studying, and it's usually correct unless you've recently changed. And it'll have a couple of other things that you may need to fill out before you can go to the information page where you want to look for information. So I'm going to get out of this. And when you sign out or when you finish the information in your profile that is required, it will take you to this kind of overview page. And we can talk about that another day. But today what I want to show you is you can look for jobs on Handshake. You can look for events that are going on campus and with other companies that might be virtual. You can look for employers. So if you know certain ones you're looking for. And then the Career Center, I'll show you that as well. The reason we really push for students to look for internships and jobs on Handshake is because it is designed just for college students. Employers that post jobs on here are looking for truly new talent. Now they do have some jobs available for master's students and some even for PhD students. However, the majority are for undergraduate students. So when they say entry level, they mean 0 to 3 years. If you look on LinkedIn or Indeed, they say entry level and they say 3 to 5 years. College student can't really do that unless you're a non-traditional student and have been working full-time for several years. So this is really, really helpful and a great place to find employers and job opportunities. So if you click on it, we're going to look at jobs first. Over on the left-hand column, you'll see jobs. And if we click on that, there are ways that you can search for jobs. So we're going to start with location, and you can choose what location. Once you type a city in, I'm going to say Nashville. And the first time you look, Well, let's see. Let's just do Memphis because that's not in there just to show you. So you can say Memphis, and then you need to click the option, Memphis, Tennessee. And so if you wanted to look in Memphis with a radius of 50 miles around Memphis, you can do that. But I just wanted to show you how to do that. I'm actually going to go back to Nashville instead. So I'm going to take this one off, X out, because many of our students want to stay in Nashville. So if you choose Nashville, and I do recommend a 50-mile radius because that gets Murfreesboro and Columbia, Spring Hill, a lot of areas to cover most of the jobs that you would be interested in. So you can choose that first. Let's say we're looking for an internship for next summer. And this is prime time, by the way, if you are looking for an internship in the summer and a job even in the summer, now is the time to be applying. Now is the time to be going to the career fairs. So we're going to click on internship. And then this just shows like 230 jobs in the Nashville area of internships. But if we want to look for a specific one, let's say supply chain. If somebody is looking for a supply chain job, because it's a database, it's going to look, if we type in supply chain, it will look for supply, it'll look for chain and supply chain. So some of them that you get won't make sense to you. But then there's also, some people call supply chain logistics. So that's another option to look, and you might get different companies when you look at that. So we're going to hit enter. And these are showing us our Nashville location with a 50-mile radius and an internships that are available in this area. So this first one says, now notice you can get alerts. If you want alerts, it will send you an email if a new position comes open that you might be interested in. So you can click that and get alerts for those type of jobs. So we'll say supply chain. This one is with LP Building Solutions. And then I'm going to click General Mills. So whichever one you have highlighted on the left is what information will show on the right. So I'm going to scroll down so you can see what all is there. It shows how much an hour, where it's based, Murfreesboro, but they also have several other locations. And the dates, some of them are not as filled out as this, but most of them are because especially specifically for internships. Tells you what you will do, tells a little bit about the company, tells what will happen, where you'll work, and what the minimum qualifications are. So they are looking for someone pursuing a bachelor's degree in supply chain management or others. And notice it says logistics here. So that was one thing I was talking about. And then it goes down and gives information, talks about the company. A lot of times, especially large companies, even some small ones like General Mills, they're located all over the United States. And if you took an internship somewhere else, oftentimes they have accommodations for living and extra for living in another city. So don't turn something down if you have an opportunity until you find out the details. So you can look to see all the information. You can also, if you're interested in General Mills and want to find out other things that are available, you can follow them. You can click it just kind of like Instagram, and different things will pop up on your home page when you go back. Here's another one for General Motors summer internship, manufacturing supply chain. This is paid. Some of them, and they don't always tell the amount. And it goes down to give more information. Now, if you wanted to find out more information about the employer, right here in each of the Handshake job postings, you can click on General Motors and it will give you the website, and you can click on that to find more specific information, or you can scroll down and see what post they have put on Handshake and if they have any other jobs. Sometimes they talk about here their work-life balance and testimonials from people that have been there. Keep scrolling and you'll see all the jobs that they have, these are internships and some jobs posted currently. So it's kind of neat. So if you know you want to work at GM, then you can follow them and see what jobs they have posted. Sometimes you will see, like here's somebody here. Let's look at him. Jason Beal. You can look at him. And he can assist students interested in manufacturing engineering and working in the automotive industry. So he works at General Motors. So maybe you could send him a message if you had a question. or you can follow him and see what he posts. So pretty cool. Now, let's go back to jobs real quick.
Hey, Amy,
And
I've
I
got
wanted to show you.
one
Oh, go
quick
ahead.
question.
Sure.
In the chat, someone said, how do I search for relevant positions as a business management major?
Okay, great. We're going to do that. And a regular job, we're going to say full-time job this time because, but all you have to do is change the filter. So we're going to look for a full-time job. We'll say Nashville again, Nashville, Tennessee, and we'll say management. Now, when you say management, it could be all kinds of management jobs, but we're going to see what shows up, and you do have to sort through them. So this one has 414 jobs found that has management somewhere in that job description. So this one is probably not what you're looking for. A driver manager? No, probably not. It's probably, let's see, you'll have to see what they're looking for. So that is not really, well, no, it is managing truck drivers is actually what that is. So don't let the name fool you like I almost did. So you can read and see what they're looking for. This would be, you would have to have a bachelor's degree, and it talks about the company. Let's go down. Carrier Enterprise. Here's a management training program. And I think this is to me because management is, I majored in that undergrad, and it's like, oh my goodness, they're going to let me manage something. I've just been in college. I might have managed a small group of people, but what can I do? And so I think management training programs are really important for new management students, unless you have a specific industry you want to go in. So they will show you, here's one with Carrier Enterprise, and it will talk about their trainee program. And typically with a trainee program, they will take you through all aspects of the business, like for several weeks or months at a time. And at the end of that 1 or 2 year process, you work with the human resources people. They've observed you, you've experienced different areas, and you would be able to decide together what would be the best place for you to start. So they tell you here everything that they are looking for and what you need to do to apply. So here's another one, risk engineering training. Here's a project manager. Now this one may want a master's degree, but it doesn't say, I don't think. Always check. This one is not very, you might have to look at this one online just to make sure you get all the information. This one does not show everything. Typically, I'm going to do this one. You can click on the more button and it will tell the information. So this one is a 7-month rotation through dealership departments to receive hands-on training focusing on key skills. So that's how you would look for jobs and internships. One other quick thing I want to show you, we do have several career fairs coming up. Next Thursday is the big one that has many majors that will be there. And to look for that, you can go to 2 different places, either events or Career Center. I'm going to click Career Center because this is a new one for us. And if you just scroll down, you can see the upcoming career fairs on campus in order. And also you keep scrolling down other events like today, Concrete Construction Management is having something. Today, also the creating your elevator pitch is an Ignite event. So different things that you can scroll through and see there. And, but the big career fair, if you click on that, it has information where you can see the employers who's going to be here. So it says right here that this is when it's happening. There are over 200 employers coming, and you click on this blue button, see more employers, and it gives you a list in alphabetical order. Now, some of them have jobs. I will show you. This is just like if you looked up that company under employers, but this shows you who will be here. And it's a little tricky to find exactly what they're looking for because this is a medical school. It's a grad school. So they are looking for people wanting to go into medicine. This one is a manufacturing company, but what are they looking for? Let's see. They're looking for engineer and engineering technicians. They have internships and jobs. Now, these kind of companies typically do look for engineers. However, Sometimes they have human resources too, and they have finance departments. So sometimes they're looking for other things. If you happen to know it's a company you're interested in and you're in marketing or management or finance, talk with them. And there may be a different person that they can connect you with that would help you know, um, kind of to make a little inroad in that company. I'm afraid my time is almost up. So I wonder if there's a question while I'm on here, one or two quick
Yeah,
ones.
there was two more questions in the chat. So one
Yes.
was, do non-traditional students get internship offers as well, or is that something that employers only consider for traditional students?
Yes. No, as long as they're enrolled in a program like a bachelor's or master's program, and some internships are required, but it doesn't matter the age. So definitely internships are fine and are acceptable.
And then the other question was, what other keywords to look for similar to trainee programs that could be
Oh,
introduced to a given field?
good question. I think trainee or training, ing, and also just so for instance, you could even say administration, maybe like just if you're doing a business thing, business administration is very broad, so that's a little tricky. So if there's an area in business administration you're interested in, then you can choose one of those words. But I have, when I was looking ahead, several companies, even though it was like supply chain or it was a finance company, were looking for business administration graduates too. So sometimes you just don't know what you might get into. So you could type in business administration and then see if you're interested, and it will tell what degrees they're looking at.
I thought of one more quick question, Amy, of
Sure.
so like students that are maybe like sophomores and juniors that want to
Mm,
apply for internships but don't have a lot of work experience, like
yes.
tips for like how to make a resume, or is there a good template somewhere that you could use to make one?
Yes. I'll show you that real quick, and then definitely please send it in to us at the Career Center. So if you do mtsu.edu/career, on the top blue bar, students and alumni, resume and professional documents. So you scroll down and you click the bars for resumes. There's a resume writing guide that's way too long, but it has some resume samples in there that you can look and see how people did their resume. And then down here are 3 templates. It says samples, but they're actually templates that you can use. You just download it and enable editing, and you can use these if you want to change the format. But it's nice because these have the margins set up. And whatever you do, do not do a pretty resume like with columns. Applicant tracking systems cannot read them, and you will be kicked out and never see a person. So plain resumes is what is needed today. And you can schedule an appointment anytime with me or any of the advisors, and we can give you more specific directions.
Great. That was super helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Thanks, Amy. I'm going to turn it over to Sharon.
Okay, very good. Hi, everyone. I'm Sharon Parenti. I am also basically the library liaison for advertising and marketing. And I'm going to be showing you a database today that is, oops, I need to get the share request closed from Handshake. So, okay, great. Got it. Thank you. Okay, I am going to be showing you a business directory database called Data Axle. It was formerly called Reference Solutions, and formerly before that, Reference USA, if you've ever heard about it before. This tends to happen a lot. I am going to go over here and share my screen. So hopefully everyone can see that now. And I'm going to show you how to get to it from the library webpage. The key to accessing the hundreds of databases that the library has available for you is to get over to the library webpage, which has a very easy to remember address, just library.mtsu.edu. And in this case, all of our databases are listed in alphabetical order under A to Z databases, and we could go over here and select Data Axle from there. Now, if I had not already, of course, signed in today, I would have needed to log in and do multi-factor authentication as we're going through. The library also has many research guides. We have several for business, including advertising, marketing, and general business that would have all of these databases listed on them as a place where you could get company information. But the key thing about Data Axle is that it includes, it's a very, very large directory of US businesses, no matter the size. It includes mom and pops all the way up to the corporate parents of Starbucks or anything like that. So we have several different options here, and we're going to go in and spend our time over here under the US businesses. I will say that I did have a meeting with some students back in May or so that were working with Handshake. And so, and also showed them how they could find some other companies that were in their subject area that were in the Nashville or Davidson County area, or even many counties that are close to Nashville using Data Axle. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick search, because usually you will know about a particular, at least one particular company in your major that you might be interested in that's local or nearby. I'm going to put in the Bunting Group, which is an advertising agency, and I'm going to search for it here in Nashville. And one kind of a key factor to keep in mind with Data Axle, if it highlights the name of the city or company or anything underneath the box, click on that. It's just kind of a little quirk of the system. And we'll go ahead and put Tennessee. And we can go ahead and view the results. And this will give us the entry for the Bunting Group, the executive name, address, other information about it. And then we can click and take a look at the entry. One thing that this is particularly helpful for in terms of going out and finding what other businesses are in an area is to take a look at either actually both the SIC code and the NAICS code that are assigned for that particular company, which basically highlights the primary area of emphasis for the particular business. The SIC codes have not really been updated since 1987. They were replaced by the NAICS codes, but they are still used because they cover some areas better in some ways for some businesses or industry than the NAICS code. And in some cases, like you see here, some other companies have added some additional codes to be more specific, because the SIC code was primarily a 4-digit code in the past. Since 1987, the NAICS code. So this would cover advertising agencies, and the 731115 has advertising marketing at the description. So that'll be helpful for me when I want to go out and see what other companies I might be interested in applying for in the Nashville area that are dealing with advertising and marketing. As you can see, it gives a nice little business profile here. You won't find that for every company, but it's very nice when it has it. Lets us know the number of employees, so it's rather large for that area. Gives us a estimated location sales volume. You can't always be entirely certain about some of these figures that are going to be here, but it's still helpful. As you can see, it's actually been in the database for 42 years, so you could go back and look at other years. And I think one of the things that's really helpful here is the list of the company executives or employees that you can see. So if we wanted to go look for a marketing position or something, we can see who actually is attached to that particular position, and might give us some places to start off with. They don't have an active news feed going on right now, but that's okay. So this particular section here is the one that I'm kind of a little least certain about might be entirely accurate. There's so many companies in here, it's really hard to have all of that correct. But For some businesses, probably not necessarily for a marketing company or advertising company, what businesses are nearby can be important. So let's say you were wanting to open your own coffee shop or something like that. You might want to know, well, what other coffee shops are nearby? Or is there like another coffee shop on the same block I've got to worry about? So you can click there and expand that, and that will kind of show you some of the companies and facilities that are also in the database that are nearby. And it will also give you an array of other competitors that are also in the database in Nashville that would also have their own entries that you could go ahead and take a look at, which would be helpful. So I've put up a company that I know is one that is an employer for my major in an area that I want to work at, and can see what they're using for the SIC and NAICS code. What I'm going to go ahead and do next, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go to revise my search, and I'm going to go up here to advanced search. This is what I did when I met with the students that were looking for marketing internships in the Nashville area back in May. And the way that you can build this is by using these filters down the left-hand side. And I always like to start off here with the business type, which is the keyword in NACE. And I don't have to actually know that number, although I did look it up and see what that number was from looking up the Bunting group. I can just put here advertising, and it gives me some options. It's like, oh, yes, that was the one I saw in the Bunting group, advertising marketing. And when I click on that, you can see I've selected it, and I can select as many of these options as I want. Once I've selected them, I'll be pulling from those companies that have that code attached to them. Then I want to go down here and look at some geography. So I'm going to go ahead and put in Nashville. And there are lots of Nashvilles, aren't there? And I'm going to select Nashville, Tennessee. And now I've selected Nashville, Tennessee. But I'm also going to go down here and I'm going to go ahead and add a county in, or 2 or 3. So I can select a state, and it will pull up all the counties in the state. So I could do, I'll just keep it to Davidson, but that'll give me a larger geographic area. Then what size company do I want to work for? Or what size company do I want an internship with? Some of these marketing positions or internships might just be in-house, and it might just be a business that has a marketing department in it, and it might be relatively small. Some might be standalone companies that primarily focus on that particular industry. But you have some options here. You could decide a little bit and filter by the size of the employer or the sales volume of the employer. So let's say, and then down here also, if you want it to be public or private, or a headquarter or a branch, or any of these other filters you could select. So let's pick sales volume. Okay, so down here are the sales volume options. So let's say I'm mainly interested in anything that's 500,000 to $1 million or above. I can highlight that, and it's put it over there in the select. But then if I press down the shift key and click on some other options, I'll stop at 50 million. Okay. Those are my options. So I'm going to be looking for advertising and marketing firms where that is what has been indicated as their primary area of emphasis. And then I'm going to be looking at either Nashville, Tennessee, or Davidson County. And then I'm going to look at companies that have a sales volume from 500,000 to 50 million. And then I'm going to go up here and click View Results. And they're going to put into place all of my different filters. So I came back with 54 records here. So these might be some other companies that I want to look for and see if they have any positions available. I might want to go into Handshake and search for some of these specific companies in Handshake. So it can work both ways, and this can complement your search on Handshake. So there actually was the button group that we had originally focused upon. And you will see here, and in some cases, you'll see this particular company, there's a corporate tree, so there's a parent company above it. So if you clicked on this Cheetah agency, let's see, okay, it would let you know that the parent company is out of Miami, Florida, and then it would show you what all of these different subsidiaries are. And let me see if we can go back here. Okay, good. I didn't end up losing that. Among the other things that you can do, there are 3 pages of results here. You can select particular companies, or you can select everything on this particular page. Then we can go to the second page and kind of select those, and then go over to the third page. And we can download those records, and you can select how you would like it formatted. So you could send it to an Excel spreadsheet. Pretty much in most cases, it would be best to customize that, because you might not necessarily want every last thing in there. It'll get really kind of busy pretty quickly. But you can download up to about 250 records at a time. So that is an option for you as well, that you could go ahead and download those records. We could also kind of put up this heat map here. I probably have a little bit too many selected for the heat map. Kind of make it a little bit bigger. And like we could take a look here by zip code, which ones are in the 37203. There are apparently 9 companies there. Okay. Okay. Okay, there we go. And so you can then hover over there. That Speak Creative, Effect TV. And so you could kind of see a little bit on the map, heat map, who is located where by going through those particular zip codes. But that's another option that you could do as well. And they have some charts that we could pull up as well. Summary report for your search, kind of letting us know how many in particular are in which zip code, which can be handy. But this is very, very good for just being able to see what businesses are in the area that you are targeting for internships and for a full-time employment in the future. It even kind of lets you generate lists and things too, and you can buy email lists from Data Axle. One thing that is relatively new for them is the ability to create your own account. Once you log in with your MTSU credentials, you can go down here to the Save the Search. And I've already gone ahead and created an account, but if you needed to, you could create an account on the fly. And, well, fortunately, crazily enough, it's trying to already have a password. You know what? I am over here on Create Account. I need to actually go to sign in. Okay. Still trying to generate different passwords here. Okay. Sometimes this time of day, this gets a little bit slow in logging in. see if it actually did. Okay, save search name. Marketing. Okay. I've now, my search has been successfully saved. So that would be a case when I go back into the database. I can pull that search back up again. And there they are. These are all the different searches that I have saved. I have one for marketing on advertising with 54 coffee shops. And you may notice down here, but Data Axle also does social services. So things like United Way or any of these groups that that have social services will be included in there too, and they will have their own entries. So maybe you want an internship with one of those groups as well. So it is included in there. So Data Axle will definitely cover the US as a whole. It will cover businesses of many different sizes, and it's a good place to go and see what companies are available in the area that you're looking at. So I was going to go ahead and stop here and check and see if anybody had any questions.
I don't see anything in the chat right now, but we'll give them another chance at the end if they think of something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me go ahead and stop the share here.
Hi, I'm Rachel Kirk, and I am going to introduce you to IBIS World, which is a really good source to get information about the industry in general. So I'm going to go to the share screen. Okay, so where are we? What are you seeing? Are you seeing the IBIS World at a glance?
Yes, we're seeing the key takeaways, performance.
Great. That's what I wanted you to see. Well, first I'm going to back up and show you what Sharon showed you, just to reinforce it, but how to get to the database. So what you would do is you would go to databases A to Z, and then you're going to go, the name of the database is IBIS World. So we're going to click on I, and it's number one. So that's great. And I'm going to get out of this so I don't have two instances running because I already have this set up. And this, I'm just going to take some time and give you a little overview of what IBIS World offers. So what I have done is because audio production recording industry is such a interest around here, I thought I would use this as an example. So it's interesting. It's an interesting industry because there are not a lot of barriers. You'll see this. There's not a lot of barriers to entry, which means that if you could go work for a smaller firm that might be expanding, or you might do some subcontracting work for one, or you might just get a job in a new company in this field. But it gives you this kind of information. So right now I'm looking at the industry structure over here, and what it's telling me about the industry structure characteristics is concentration. So concentration, when it says a low level of concentration, that generally means there's more opportunities, that it's not like that field is not dominated by just a few big players. So that's a good sign. And then that barriers to entry, they're moderate, but they're decreasing. So things are getting more decentralized, and people are finding their own ways in. There's starting to be more regulation policy, probably about AI and different things, but in general, regulation is low. It is unfortunately a mature life cycle, or it's considered by analysts to be mature life cycle. So they're not really looking for something, they're not really thinking that there's going to be a true like revolution in this industry. You know, it seems to be fairly stable. There is a lot of competition in this field, and there are moderate opportunities for innovation. So if you're interested in this, like as a field to go into, you know, it shows you that this has some options. You know, it has some good options for you. And I thought I would just start off with that because I think one of the things you want to know if you're going into a field is it feasible to get a job and have employment in that field? But then when you want to just learn more, it gives you about the kind of the takeaways and tech advances, and you can go to a full chapter on that, or we can go back. Okay, we're going back to at a glance. Some of the things sort of surprised me. Well, I didn't know how, if you look into products and markets, you're going to find out like things that are affecting the market. And one of these right here, I'm going to highlight it for you, is the tariff situation. Could really affect this field because they're talking about increasing 10 to 25% on equipment. And if you look down here, the profit margins are healthy, but this would really negatively impact that profit margin. So for a while, at least, it might not be as profitable to be in this field if tariffs become a big issue. One of the things that you might ask yourself, as I did, like what is included in audio production? And you know, I thought music recording and then the sound editing and all that, but I didn't really think, I mean, it's still a small market. The radio recording market is small, but spoken word recording, I had to really think about that. And I think those are like the audio books and the podcasts that are edited and things like that, things that are kind of not new, but I that are small parts right now. And then there's a whole other sound editing production that we're not really sure what it is, but the point is that there is things are still changing. There's still innovation. There's moderate innovation here. It's still a growing field. If you look at the key drivers in this area, it's all positive. And maybe you want to look in and explore what does this mean and how does it affect? And you can, like they give you a good, you know, textual overview as well as charts. I'm gonna go back and see I'm getting a little low on time, so I want to. I'm gonna go back to where I was. I'm gonna do, and I'm just searching here. I'm not even using the codes. Just doing audio production. And one of the things that I'm going to make sure and highlight here is when you look at this, and there's a industry at a glance as the kind of the navigation here on the left. If you're looking for a job and you're cold calling some of the people that you got from Sharon's list or from some of the opportunities that might be in Handshake, one of the things, it makes you seem really smart and knowledgeable if you know, you know, kind of some of the bigger issues, the things that affect the thing, but also what call prep questions are really, it's a really nice feature. So if you want to understand for yourself and you want to have good questions for an interview or to start off asking somebody that you're hoping to network with, these role specific questions And then external impact questions like if it's album sales fall, what do you see your market's going to pivot to? Like these are really helpful. Give you, I think it would give you a leg up, you know, when you put together with your resume and your networking tools and your internships and all of that. So this isn't just another valuable tool that you have at your disposal, and you can, if you have questions about it, you can ask the librarians here to help you, particularly me, but also other librarians. So I just want to make sure that you are familiar with this. And that's that we're ending my part now.
Great. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording, and then if you guys have questions, you can unmute and ask those, or you can put them in the chats. Let me get this stopped.